Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and who enjoyed part 1 of my Celtic and Rangers in the EFL series. Well, enough of your content that you wanted to see more, so here we are. I've listened to the public, I've bowed down to your demands. Here is part 2 of what if Celtic and Rangers played in the EFL. If you haven't seen part 1, check it out, but we left things with Celtic managerless after sacking Rafa Benitez for failing to win promotion, while Rangers were heading back down to the Championship after a woeful attempt at survival in the Premier League. Both sides have really struggled in the top flight, but consistently compete at the top end of the Championship, so let's simulate 3 more years to see if they can get back to the promised land and avoid just becoming a yo-yo club. Let's go. Okay, so here we are, the 9th of June 2024, we've simulated 1 more year into the future, and as you can see from the table, Celtic and Rangers have failed to achieve promotion. Although I'm looking here, competition reputation, the Sky Bet Championship has been on the up since 2020, so maybe Celtic and Rangers coming in to help them? I mean, I can't see why else it would be on the up, whatever. As you can see here, Celtic came 4th, they got 80 points, which meant they were in the playoffs, but they were unable to make it to the final. They were beaten in the semis by West Ham. As for Rangers, they've came 12th, only 62 points, meaning they've came top of the bottom half. Nothing to shout home about there. How many points were they off in the playoffs? 13 points shy? And they're almost as close to the relegation zone. A really poor season for Rangers. Let's have a look at how Celtic got on in the playoffs. Obviously they played West Ham, who were beaten in the final by Aston Villa, and it looks like West Ham comprehensively beat Celtic. 3-1 in aggregate, 1-0 in the second leg to the Hoops, which meant it was 3-0 at half time effectively. West Ham had got the job done early. Disappointing for Celtic, but let's have a look at how they got on over the year. As we mentioned at the start, Rafa Benitez was sacked at the end of last year. Marcel Koller is the manager. He's Swiss. I'll be honest, I don't know a thing about him. He might be nice. He's lasted a year in the job though, so he must be doing something right, even if he didn't win promotion. Let's have a look at the transfers, see if anything's gone on at Celtic Park. They brought in more than they've spent, which I suppose is good. So they spent £49.5 million on players. Guillaume Arana from Aston Villa. Gianluca Busio from Norwich. Is he real? I'm going to guess he's not. Oh, he is. My apologies, Gianluca. Didn't think you were a real man. Well, you've had an okay first season at the Hoops. 7 goals, 3 assists. From midfield, that's pretty good. Ted Mengi, I know that name. Sam Surridge. Let's see how he got on. 9 goals. Nothing special. And Freddie Woodman. Has he been the new number 1? No. Played 1 game, did brilliantly. Other than that, just been sitting on the bench. Let's see who left. Angel Gomez went to Leeds for not as much as he cost. Josh Timon went to Huddersfield for, that's quite a fair wedge of cash. And a young Dom Bradley went to Burnley under 18s. Oh, Will Hughes has gone to Al Arabi. That is a shame. That is a shame. Is Dom Bradley real? No, he's not. I knew that one wasn't real. Right, so at least they brought in some money. They're steadying the books. Have a look at the schedule. Done alright, to be honest. Just looks to have been inconsistent. Like, I mean, they weren't that far off automatic promotion. How many points were they away? Obviously they got 80, so they're only 6 points shy of West Brom in second. So it's a strong season from Celtic. In the Cups, how did they get on? Beaten in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup by Chelsea. I mean, they probably didn't need the added fixtures. FA Cup, they made it to the quarter-finals where they were beaten by West Brom. Jack O'Connell sent off. That's disappointing for Celtic. You know, they could have made it to the semis there. And to be honest, it just looks like they've had a slow end to the season. They followed the FA Cup heartache with defeat to Forest, then they drew Derby, then the final 2 games, lost to Cardiff and drew at Bristol City. So Celtic could very easily have gone up. They also had a rough patch over Christmas. They didn't win a game from the 16th of December until the 13th of January. That is a disappointing run. We'll have a look at the old firms though. They also lost to Rangers at Ibrox 2-1. Shane Duffy with the winner. He plays for Celtic now, so that's quite interesting. Don't know what else to say really. As for the other old firm game at Parkhead, it was a 3-0 win for Celtic. Odson Edouard with a hat-trick. How he's still at Celtic, I will never know. 16 goals this season. He's been brilliant throughout the whole simulation, really. I can't believe they've still got him. Has he still got that buyout clause? Doesn't look like he's got a contract until 2028. Great player. Should be playing in the Premier League. Can't be spending his days in the Championship. But Celtic have kept the hold of him. Will he survive with him for another season? We will see. But Celtic will be disappointed not to go up. But not as disappointed as Rangers. Let's check them out. Manager is Slaven Bilic. Last time we looked, it was Roberto Martinez who failed to keep them up. Well, he got the sack on the 7th of October. And ever since then, it's been Slaven Bilic in charge, who won over a third of his games. Obviously, he steadied the ship. Rangers must have been doing really badly for when he came in. He steadied the ship, as we say. Shane Duffy's the captain. That doesn't sit well with me. Let's have a look at what they've done in the transfer market. Just like Celtic, they've brought in more money than they've spent. Who was the bigger rival? Juan Cruz, £11.5 million. £18.25 million on Christian Fastnacht. Some Swiss veteran. I'll be honest, don't know a thing about him. Not really doing me football knowledge any favours here. Shane Duffy was a bargain signing. That's pretty good. Let's have a look at who went out. They brought in £98 million on the back of relegation. Ross McCrory went to Leicester for 22, possibly rising to £33 million. Alfredo Morelos has gone. That's the big one, right? I'm going to organise this by fee because people get annoyed when I don't do this. Alfredo Morelos has gone to Southampton for £31 million. He's still in the Premier League. Let's see how he did. 11 goals in 34 appearances. He started the season with Rangers, who had 2 in 3, was doing great. But he's gone. Maybe that's a big reason why Rangers haven't done as well this season. They haven't got a striker to score the goals. Ebe Eze's gone to Swansea. Tosin Adarabio's gone to Norwich. Rico Henry to Brighton. Ryan Jack's gone to Freiburg on loan. That's equally as disappointing. But we'll have a look at the schedule, see how they got. Oh dear. Okay, so it wasn't a bad start. The first 3 games, they got 7 points. Wins at Brentford, at home to Sheffield United, who eventually won the league, came from behind, and they drew with Bristol City. But after that, it was rotten. Really bad until the end of October. Then they got their act together, which, interestingly, was when Slaven Bilic came in. So you can see here why Roberto Martinez got the sack. So many defeats, really poor. And from there on in, they were just inconsistent. A few wins here, then a run of losses. So you can see here, back-to-back wins against Cardiff and Villa, that's great. And then they've lost 5 in a row, sorry. I can't count. Disappointing for Rangers to come 12th. In the Cups, they were beaten in the 3rd round by Crystal Palace in the FA Cup, and in the League Cup, they were beaten in the 2nd round by Sheffield United. But a disappointing season from Rangers. I mean, that is really poor. Are Rangers on the decline, or was this just a blip? Have they just, had to make do and mend after the Roberto Martinez era? As for Celtic, they were on the brink of promotion, so not too much to worry about. We'll simulate one more year, let's see what happens. Okay, so here it is, the 8th of June 2025. We've simulated one more year into the future. We've got the table here. Celtic are going back to the Premier League. They've came second with 88 points, just one shy of title winners Fulham. And as for Rangers, they've improved. 2 points better than last season, 1 place better. Rangers have came 11th, while Celtic are going back up. We're going to look at the player stats here, and Odsonne Edouard has been the star of the season. 23 league goals, an average rating of 7.42, 10 man of the match awards. Incredible stuff by the Frenchman. As for Jamie Shackleton, 12 assists, that's great from him. I think he's the club record signing. A wonderful season. Actually, I can't understand how his average rating isn't that good. I mean, it's alright, but still shy of a 7, even though he got 12 assists. Year before he got 7 goals and 7 assists, and he still didn't get a 7. Must be inconsistent, but whatever, that's not the point. Celtic are going back up, and Rangers are, they're staying put. Let's have a look at Celtic, have a look at the champions. Marcel Collar, still the manager. Jack O'Connell, the skipper. Key player, Odsonne Edouard. Have a look at his overall stats. It's just shy of the best season he's ever had, but I mean, 23 goals. It's the first time in the simulation he's scored that many. That is a fantastic tally. Have a look at what other business Celtic did do. Yet again, they've brought in more money than they've spent. They've spent 85 million on players, and they've brought in 114 million. So not only have they made a profit, they're also going back up to the Premier League. Celtic look perfectly placed to actually stabilise themselves in the top flight, because financially they seem to have got things bang on. Nathan Wood arrived for £22.5 million. He was the big signing of the summer. Centre back, how did he get on? Not very well, but that is disappointing. Moise Keane arrived from Everton for a bargain fee. Things mustn't be going well for him, but 6 goals and 6 assists, that's not bad. I think that's alright. Number 9. A nice backup to Odsonne Edouard. Any other interesting names there? Fabio Vieira, an attacking midfielder, the number 7. He's had a great season, 7 goals in 17 appearances, average rating of 7.3. But have a look at the outgoings. Harvey Barnes gone to West Brom, obviously they were promoted last season. Joe Willock's gone to Leeds, Arana's also gone to Leeds, Domingos Keane to Huddersfield. 6 players left the club for more than £10 million. Aaron Ramsey's gone, not the real Aaron Ramsey, but still Aaron Ramsey, he has left the club. Diego Dallo's gone to Sheffield United. A lot of players have been sold to Premier League clubs there, so they'll be coming up against them next season. But we'll have a look at the schedule, see how Celtic got on. And it just looks like they've been a lot more consistent. There was a little bit of a blip here where they couldn't buy a win between the 21st of September and the 22nd of October. After that though, they were pretty unbeatable. What a run they went on here up until the 11th of January. Fantastic stuff. They've just been a picture of consistency. They could have won the title. Obviously, they only finished a point shy. They would have won it if they hadn't lost this penultimate game against Watford. 2-1 they were beaten, but they finished the season with a 4-1 win over Luton Town. Going back up to the Premier League. In the FA Cup, they were beaten by Man United in the 3rd round. Not to worry. And in the League Cup, they were beaten by Sheffield United. But we'll have a look at the Old Firm games, see how they went. They all seem to happen later in the year, never right at the start. So the first one of the season was a 1-1 draw at Celtic Park. Rangers went down to 10 men but got an equaliser in the 67th minute. And then in the second Old Firm derby at Ibrox, where is it? It was another draw, 1-1 again, and it was another Rangers equaliser. That would break Celtic hearts, but at the end of the day, they've won promotion. That's probably what they're more bothered about. I don't think Rangers are going to be sitting there, you know, buzzing about the fact that they got 2 Old Firm draws but didn't go up. Let's have a look at how Rangers got on. As we say, they came 11th, 2 points better off than the year before. And Gennaro Gattuso is in the dugout. That is a big name at Ibrox. Their former midfielder, he's a hard footballer. He is now the manager at Ibrox. Let's see what happened to the man before him. It was Slaven Bilic, of course. Oh, Peter Lovenkrands got a little stint as caretaker. That's nice. I love Peter Lovenkrands. He got 8 days. How did he do? He drew his 1 game. Beautiful. So Gattuso replaced him. So far he's won 40% of his games. Slaven Bilic ended with a 33% win record. Can Gattuso be the man to sort this Rangers team out? Let's have a look at the transfers. So not a lot of money going on here. The biggest signing was George Dobson for £6.5 million and Dujon Sterling for £6.5 million. They've signed Lewis Dunk from Brighton. So they're going for the full-on Brighton pairing at the back. Obviously with Shane Duffy. Going out, Ryan Kent has gone to Fulham for £21 million. He's getting his Premier League move. I assume Fulham in the Premier League. No, they're not. They were a Championship rival, and that's where Ryan Kent went. What stupid! Why would you sell one of your best players? It's no wonder Fulham won the league. Ryan Kent wasn't even that good. He barely played. What am I talking about? Ignore me. Have a look at Rangers' schedule. At first, they actually started really well. They were unbeaten in the league until the 1st of October. A great start under Slaven Bilic, and then, I don't know, it just went inconsistent. Strong end of the season though. They went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games unbeaten. 7 of them were draws, but that's fine. It's better to draw than lose. So if they turn some of them draws into wins, it could have been a much better season for Rangers. 19 games they drew. That is a lot. But there it is. Celtic, for the final year of this simulation, are going to be in the Premier League. They're going to have another shot in the top flight. As for Rangers, they really need to sort themselves out. They don't look like a club set up to return to the Premier League. It's almost as if that season the top flight killed them. They were so bad, they just haven't recovered. Let's simulate one more year, see what happens. Okay, so here we are, the 5th of June 2026, the 3rd season of part 2, the 7th season of the whole simulation. Let's go straight to the Premier League, see how Celtic did, and they survived. Celtic have survived in the Premier League. Pretty convincingly actually. They came 14th with 40 points, 8 clear of the drop. That is brilliant. They lost nearly half the games, but still, they hit that magic 40-point mark, and Celtic have survived in the Premier League. Well done Celtic. Tottenham won it, for goodness sake, what's going on? Mbappe plays for City. 26 goals. It's not the point. But Celtic, let's have a look at how they've done on. They've changed managers. Sergej Semak is the manager. Let's see what's gone on there. Marcel Koller got the sack early in the season. Well, in November. Things must have been going really wrong for him to get the sack, considering he'd won them promotion. And Sergej Semak's guided them to the top. Well, to 14th. Let's have a look at the past positions, because it must have been bad for Celtic. Things were bad for Celtic. But there we are, that's the 3rd of December, and they'd been in the relegation zone for a while. So come the 13th of December, they were still 18th. So they were just in the process of changing managers. Obviously, a change in manager has worked for the Hoops, it's kept them up. Let's have a look at whether they've spent much money to stay there. They have. For the first season in a while, they have spent more than they brought in. £84 million spent, 37.5 coming in. Who was the bigger rival? Matteo Bergamaschi from Swansea. That is not a Belgian name. No chance is he Belgian. He isn't very good either. Eric Garcia, the current Man City centre-back, he's not been very good. Celtic spent a lot of money on really disappointing players here. Going out, Jimmy Shackleton's gone to Rennes. The club record signing, that is disappointing. Hasn't even gone for that much. Sam Surridge has gone to Al Gharafa. Is that in Qatar? It doesn't matter. No, it is in Qatar. There it is. He's joined by Ryan Cassidy, whoever he is. Leo Connor's gone. Jack O'Connell's gone to Swansea. Let's have a look at the Celtic team. Pedro Porro. Is he one of the better players? Nope. He's had a terrible season. Tell you what, we'll just look at the average ratings here, the last 5 games. I know the average ratings there. Let's see who's the best player. Odsonne Edouard, yet again. He's playing out wide as well, poor bloke. See how he did. 6 goals in the Premier League, not great, but it was enough to keep them up. Luca Connell, he's broken into the team, 25 years old. For his first season in the Premier League, that is pretty good. 3 goals, 7 assists. The young Irishman, doing well. Moise Keane's left already, he's gone on loan. I don't think there's anyone there from the original Celtic squad other than Odsonne Edouard and Luca Connell. But it doesn't matter, they're still flying the flag. They've kept Celtic in the Premier League. That's quite convincing. 8 points is pretty good for me. But we'll have a look. Will Rangers be joining them next season? Let's have a look. Nope, they've got worse. They've came 18th. That is horrendous. Let's go straight to the table. We'll come back to the homepage in a second. Rangers finished with 55 points this season, 18th. I think that's their worst finish yet. They were only 10 points. Why am I saying only 10 points? I'm praising Celtic for finishing 8 points adrift of the drop. Rangers have came 10 points adrift of the drop. Christ, put me teeth in. Rangers they've survived, but they're not going up. Not even close. Really disappointing season from Rangers, who once again can't stop drawing games. 22 draws. Is that some kind of record or something? I mean, I'm not going to check it out, but if one of you could, that would be great. Disappointing from Rangers. I mean, if they'd won a few more of those games, they'd be higher up the league, but they didn't. If they'd lost, they would have gone down. Let's have a look. As you can see there, the manager is Niko Kovac, a man who was once managing Bayern Munich. So let's have a look at Rangers' manager history. Obviously, Gennaro Gattuso, he got the sack. 359 days he lasted in the hot seat. Too many draws. Couldn't stop drawing for love nor money. Where is he now? He's unemployed. Poor bloke. Probably just sitting at home crying, shaking. Let's have a look at the transfers, what happened. Not a lot of money here at Rangers. Just shy of 6 million spent, 12 million coming in. The problem here looks to be that they've got no money to spend and they've got no one worth selling. Let's have a look at how the table went. It's just going to be draw. Actually, how many games did they actually lose? They lost 13 games. That's only 2 more than Leicester, who won the whole thing. Maybe I'm being harsh on Rangers here, but to draw that many games, that's a horrible run there. In the Cup, they were knocked out in the 3rd round of the FA Cup by Derby. In the League Cup, they were beaten by Liverpool. Just so many draws. When was the last win? April. 2-1 away at Derby. Nothing to shout about at all from Rangers there. What has there been to get excited about? We'll have a look at the players. Top player, doesn't even play for them. Alex Lowry's been out on loan. Peter McLeod, the right back, he's the best player. Some 19-year-old regen who's come through the academy, so that's good. They've got players come through the academy. Jay Hogarth, he's real, that's good. Another Rangers academy player. Okay, he's only played 2 games. His average rate, who cares about his average rating? He's only 2 games, no one cares. Juan Cruz, he's been playing a lot. Done alright, but just so disappointing from Rangers. So while Celtic are flying high in the Premier League, well, sort of high, Rangers are just sort of there, just floating. They're almost like, I don't know who to compare them to, but they're not doing anything in the Championship. I'm going to quickly go back to Celtic here because I want to look at how they did in the Cups and against some of the big teams. Right, straight away, they were knocked out of the League Cup by Stoke, and then the FA Cup, they were beaten in the 5th round by Man United. Still a lot of defeats in there for Celtic, obviously, but I mean, they had a horrendous start of the season. It's no wonder they sacked the manager. I know he got them up, but a change has worked. Was there any wins over the big boys? Can't see any. Let's keep scrolling. They got a draw against Arsenal. That's decent. I thought that was John Pansel. That would have been mint in 2026. John Pansel playing for Celtic. It looks like the biggest win was against Newcastle. That's alright, isn't it? A 2-0 win at Celtic Park over Newcastle. That's pretty good. Not bad. But there we have it. That is 3 more seasons done. Let me know in the comments below if you want an episode 3. Like I say, happy to keep doing this. But Celtic are a Premier League club for a 2nd season. As for Rangers, they're going backwards. Not good at all. So what have we learned? Nothing, it's Football Manager. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, drop us a comment and let me know what you thought. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo. But until next time, we will see you around.